Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly coaching call on PMI ACP certification examination questions. Today I've got you another set of 8 sample questions to help you get familiar with the approach needed to clear the exam. So before diving into the questions, I'll just take you through the techniques or the tips that are required to solve the questions in PMI ACP examination. Okay. I've covered these techniques or tips in the previous coaching calls, so I would recommend you pause this video at this point in time and go through all these techniques or tips that can help you solve the questions in the PMI certification examination. Okay, now let's move on to the questions straight away for today. And here's the first question. Your agile team is working on a complex feature that requires input from multiple team members with different expertise. How can you ensure effective collaboration among team members? Again, so this is the normal way that I have read. So if you have understood the previous slide, how to read the questions and especially the lengthy questions, so we have to read the last lines first. So by the time we get to the last line here, how can you ensure effective collaboration among team members? That means you'll have to go back and understand the situation once again. So to avoid this, always, if in case of lengthy questions, always read the last lines first so that you can understand the context, what is being asked from the question, and then you can read the first lines again. Then you can understand what the situation is. Okay, so now let's go through it in a proper manner. How can you ensure effective collaboration among team members? So this means that the question is being asked for an agile leader. So the question is, your agile team is working on a complex feature that requires input from multiple team members with different expertise. Okay, so here the keywords that we can understand is that the input required from multiple team members, that's the keyword that we can underline, and it's again the agile team working on a complex feature. That's another keyword that we can underline. So let's see what the options are. First, assign individual tasks to team members based on their expertise. So this does not promote collaboration among the team members. So if we are assigning individual tasks to every member, they'll be working in silos. So which means there is no collaboration among team members or knowledge sharing that is happening among the team members. So that is not the right answer. So the next option B, encourage team members to work in silos to avoid conflicts. So again, that is also not right answer, wherein the team is absolutely working in silos and there's no collaboration at all. So there is no teamwork. So that's not the right option as well. C, facilitate cross-functional collaboration and knowledge sharing. Okay, so this is something that an agile leader is supposed to work on, supposed to facilitate for the team members so that everyone learns, works together, and shares the knowledge of each other and become cross-functional in every aspect. Okay, so that's the right approach. But before finalizing, let's see the last option. Limit communication channels to avoid information overload. Again, limiting the communication channels is like restricting too much, and it might also hamper the necessary communications that are required, necessary interactions that are required, and also reduce the transparency, which in turn results in the counterproductive or counterproductiveness of the agile environment. Okay, so that's again not a right approach. So which means of the options that are provided here, the best approach is to facilitate cross-functional collaboration and knowledge sharing. That's when the team prospers. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. What should you do to address the issue? Again, this is for the agile leader to address. What is the context? Your agile team is experiencing a high level of technical debt that is impacting the quality of deliverables. Okay, so what is a technical debt? So technical debt refers to anything that is accumulating any suboptimal solutions or shortcuts that is hampering the quality of the deliverables over a period of time. So the accumulation of all these uh, debris or inaccurate solutions that are provided are something called as technical debt. So now, what should the agile leader do in order to address this particular technical debt? So let's see the options. Ignore the technical debt and focus on delivering new features. So ignoring the technical debt again is nothing but compromising on quality. So if we are ignoring these, that would probably result in the quality issues at a later stage, hampering the quality of the newly developed features as well. So which means addressing these are very much important. So we cannot ignore the technical debts. So A is the wrong option. And allocate time in each sprint to address technical debt. Yes, that could be a possible option because if we are taking the entire technical debt and trying to solve in one go or in one sprint, that is hampering the the productivity or developing new features or delivering new features for the stakeholders. So which means like taking them in bits and pieces, little chunks in each sprint and sorting them out will is the right approach. But however, let's look at it. Let's come back to this option after looking at the rest of the options. Increase the sprint velocity to compensate for the technical debt. Um, Again, increasing the sprint velocity. Velocity means taking up more and more user stories, and taking up more and more user stories in for the team actually results in making them go through a lot of pressure in terms of meeting those sprint goals and completing those user stories. So increasing the sprint velocity is not helping the technical debt, rather it increases the debt for the future or upcoming sprints, right? So when you are working on more number of things at a time, so there could be definitely an impact on the quality of the code or quality of the feature that is being developed. So which means we are increasing the technical debt by increasing the sprint velocity, but not addressing the issue at all. So which means that is the wrong option as well. Option D, hire additional developers to handle the technical debt. Um, this might help temporarily, but it does not address the root cause of the technical debt or foster sustainable practices. So this is like when we have the technical debt, we are hiring new people, immediately sorting out the issue and moving forward. But we are not addressing the actual root cause, how to sort this particular thing, and also being sustainable in our deliverables, right? So looking at all these options, the best option is option B, allocating time in each and every sprint so that we can spend certain time on, the team can spend certain time on addressing the technical debt and clearing off those that technical debt and moving forward with delivering new features as well. Okay, that's the right answer. Moving on to the next question. How can an agile team leader encourage collaboration and communication among team members? That's the primary uh, responsibility of an agile team leader, to encourage collaboration and communication among team members. So that's very critical role of an agile team leader. Looking at the options, option A, implementing strict reporting requirements. This is talking about reporting. So how can reporting encourage the team's collaboration and communication? So that's like imposing strict timelines or strict activities that they're supposed to deliver, but that does not foster the collaboration communication among the team members. Okay, so that's an incorrect approach. That's not the right option. Option B, hosting team building activities outside of work. Okay, so usually team building activities are held in order to break ice between the team members and so that they can work together. Um, this could help a little to a little extent. However, we are not providing a solution here. We are only breaking the ice between the team members to work together as a team. However, there's no proper exact solution that is being suggested in these activities that are held outside of work. So, which means this is also not addressing the issue here. Okay. So, which means this is also not a right option. Let's look at option C, holding daily status update meetings. Again, this goes in the line of option A, similar lines. So, daily status update meetings again focuses on providing the statuses by individuals, but that does not encourage or that does not foster the team's collaboration and communication. Okay, creating a shared online workspace for team collaboration. Yeah, this could be the right approach because we are actually enabling the team, providing a platform for them, to communicate better, to share whatever that they have worked on, and sharing with everyone in the team member. That is also, um, enhancing the transparency within the team. Okay, so this also encourages the discussions among the team members in terms of having what sort of a shared online workspace that they can utilize, like tools like Jira, Confluence, Slack, or Trello, which can also help in streamline the collaboration and making it easy to share the updates, track progress, and resolve issues. And this is actually helping the team to get the communications in the right uh, manner through a right approach or a right channel. Okay, so which means the option D is the right answer here. Okay, moving to the next question. What should the agile team leader do? Okay, this is the question for an agile team leader. A team member consistently misses deadlines and does not communicate effectively with the rest of the team. Okay, so let's see the options. Assign the team member easier tasks to avoid further delays. That is not addressing the root cause of the issue here. Ideally, if the team member is missing the deadlines, then the agile team leader has to ensure or understand the root causes or the issues behind missing those deadlines and address that particular root cause and get the team member to the performance level as equal to the rest of the team members, rather than giving the easier tasks, which also um, demotivates the individual. Um, you know, um, Not getting up or reaching to the level of the performance of the rest of the team members. So that's not the right approach. Option B, have a private conversation with the team member to discuss the issues. Yes, this is the right approach. That is what agile team leader is supposed to do. Having a private conversation with the individual to understand what are the issues which are leading him to miss those deadlines and why is he not able to, he or she is not able to communicate effectively with the rest of the team members. So that helps the agile team leader to understand the root cause, and upon discussion with the individual, so the agile team leader can have some action plan put in place so that the team member improves in meeting the deadlines and communicating effectively with the rest of the team members. Okay, so that's the right answer. But before finalizing, let's see the rest of the options. Publicly reprimand the team member during a team meeting. That's absolutely incorrect approach by a team leader, which is discouraging and embarrassing the team member, and that is not going to help the team member improve his or her performance at all. So, which means this is the wrong option. Option D, ignore the behavior and hope it improves on its own. Um, Again, this is like letting the team member miss the deadlines and not communicating effectively with the team members, which means that the agile team leader is letting the team's performance go down. okay, which is also impacting the project's performance as a whole. So ignoring the behavior is not going to address the root cause or not going to help the team improve their performance or meeting the project objectives. Okay, so that's not the right option. So which means of all the options that are given, option B, having a private conversation, is the right approach. Okay, let's move to the next question. That's a lengthy question, so we'll start with the last lines first. What should you recommend? Okay, so this is for, I mean, looking at it, I can understand whether it's for an agile team leader or for an agile coach. Okay, so let's look at the question. You are working as an agile coach for a software development team. The product owner has requested a new feature to be added to the product backlog. However, the team is already working on a critical bug fix that requires immediate attention. Okay, there are certain keywords that we are supposed to identify here and underline. The first thing is that the product owner is requesting for a new feature to be added. Okay, that's a keyword. And the second one is the team is already working on a critical bug fix. Okay, these are the two keywords which are supposed to be underlined, which are supposed to be kept in mind while looking at the options to understand what is the right answer. Let's look at the options. Prioritize the new feature over the critical bug fix to keep the product owner satisfied. Okay, so if we are prioritizing the new feature as suggested by the product owner, then this could result in the bug fix being ignored, which could actually impact the result of the new feature also in a bigger way, in a larger scale. So which means that ignoring the bug fix is not the right approach, and prioritizing new feature over fixing this bug is not the right approach at all. So which means option A is wrong option. Discuss with the product owner to understand the impact of the critical bug fix and negotiate a solution. Yes, this promotes the collaboration among the team members and collaboration with among the Scrum team or the Agile team, basically working along with the product owner to understand what could take the first place or the immediate place to be addressed, whether it's the product new feature or whether it's the critical bug fix. So having this particular discussion with the product owner will help understand both the product owner as well as the team members which is the right approach or the right thing to pick up first. Okay, so that's the right approach. However, we look at the other options. Inform the team to stop working on the critical bug fix and switch to the new feature. Again, this goes in the similar lines as option A, which is not appropriate. And option D, ignore the product owner's request and focus solely on the critical bug fix. Okay, what if the product owner, whatever the product owner is suggesting, could have a bigger impact on the product's development rather than the bug fix? So which means we are ignoring the value that a new product feature that is being suggested by the product owner, we're ignoring that particular value that is being delivered to the customer. So which means, again, this is also going in the lines of the rest of the options like A and C. So which means this is also an incorrect approach. So of all the options, option B is the right one. So having a discussion with the product owner and working collaboratively with the product owner and agreeing towards a solution is the right approach. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, how should the team respond? This is the question for the team. During a sprint review, the stakeholders provide feedback on the product increment. One stakeholder suggests adding a new feature that was not part of the original requirements. Okay, so what are the keywords here? So the keyword is that during a sprint review, when it is happening, it's during a sprint review, and what is happening is a new feature is being suggested which is not part of the original requirements. Okay, so we'll have to remember these two keywords while looking at the options. Okay, immediately add the new feature to the product backlog for the next sprint. Okay, this is like jumping into conclusion straight away without understanding whether it's an immediate priority or not compared to the rest of the rest of the user stories that are there already as part of the product backlog. Okay, so we have to understand what takes priority. So which means jumping immediately to conclusion and having this feature prioritized for the next sprint is not the right approach. Okay, right. So option B, thank the stakeholder for the feedback and discuss the new feature in the next sprint planning meeting. This is the right approach. So when we are discussing in the next sprint planning meeting, which means the discussion, includes whether we can go with this new feature that is suggested in the immediate sprint or not, or that could take place in the upcoming sprints at a later stage or not, and what is the priority that should be considered for that particular sprint. Okay, so that is the right approach. However, let's finalize before, after looking at the rest of the options. Option C, ignore the stakeholder suggestion as it was not part of the original requirements. So the basic fundamental of working in an agile, ways of working is to um, adapt to these feedbacks from the stakeholders and implementing them as we go through the product development. If we are ignoring the stakeholder suggestion, then it's like we are, ignoring the fundamentals of agile ways of working. Okay, so which means this is not going to help, and that's an incorrect approach. Option D, prioritize the new feature over the existing backlog items to accommodate the stakeholders' request. That's again jumping into conclusion without understanding or without estimating it in the appropriate manner, whether it will take it should take the immediate position or immediate sprint or not. So that goes in the similar lines as option A, which is incorrect. So of all the options, what is the best approach is to thank the stakeholder for the feedback and discuss the new feature in the next sprint planning meeting. All right, moving on to the next question. What should the agile team do? Again, this is the question for the team. During a sprint review, the product owner raises concerns about the quality of the deliverables. Okay, so when is it happening in a sprint review? And what is happening is there are certain quality issues or concerns being raised by the product owner. Okay, so let's see what all the options are. Option A, ignore the concerns and proceed with the next sprint. This is definitely not the right approach because ignoring the concerns is like we are compromising on the quality, right? Again, product owner is the face of the customer who understands very well what the customer requirements are and how should we meet the customer requirements at which level of quality. So again, ignoring the concerns is like ignoring the quality deliverable to the customer. So that's not the right approach. Option B, hold a retrospective meeting to identify the root cause of the quality issues. Yes, this could be, this is the right approach because we are, the team is discussing what can be done to improve the quality or address the quality issues, get to the root cause of it, and have a solution for eliminating or addressing those quality issues. Okay, that's the right approach, but we'll finalize only after looking at the rest of the options. Option C, assign blame to the team member responsible for the deliverables. Absolutely not. That's completely against the agile principles, which is blaming an individual and that's creating a negative environment, which is counterproductive and which is contrary to collaborative work environment. Okay, so that's not at all the right approach. So option D, escalate the issue to the senior management for resolution. So escalating to the senior management comes as a last resort and as a last option when the team um, cannot figure out any solution, and team also cannot work along with the product owner, and even the product owner is not able to help out, or the stakeholders are also not able to help out with any solution. So in such cases, the team can go for the escalation to the higher management or the senior management, and this comes as a last resort. So here, the immediate thing that the team could do is only to have a retrospective. So that means the option B is the right answer. So holding a retrospective to identify the root cause of the quality issues and having a solution for those quality issues and put for proper action items put in place. Okay, so that's the right answer. And moving on to the next and the last question of this coaching call. Okay, the agile team is facing challenges in meeting the sprint goals due to scope changes from stakeholders. What should the team do? So let's look at the options here. In the previous question, the product owner was coming up with certain new features, but now here what we are talking about is stakeholders are coming up with changes to the sprint goals during the sprint. So how should the team handle this? Okay, first, accept the changes and adjust the sprint goals accordingly. Yes, this is the probable approach, because whenever stakeholders come back and suggest certain changes, those have to be accepted. But whether they can be accepted during the sprint or not depends on what is being suggested as changes from the stakeholders. So this again, is for the team to understand how these changes are going to impact the deliverable of that particular sprint goal. Okay, so the team has to understand and then accept the changes. But let's look at the rest of the options, whether anything is more or better suitable to this situation or not, and finalize. Option B, reject the changes and continue working on original sprint goals. This is totally against, again, the agile ways of working. So if we are not accepting the suggestions made by the stakeholders, then we are not serving them with the right product or the right deliverables that is desired by the stakeholders. So that's a wrong option. Option C, inform the stakeholders that changes are not allowed during the sprint. Okay. Yes, we can suggest that if whatever changes that they are suggesting is not going to impact the current sprint. What if the stakeholders are suggesting the changes such a way that the sprint goal can be enhanced or delivered in a better way, right? So in such cases, if we are ignoring those changes and proceeding further with whatever we have decided, which means we are actually under delivering to the stakeholders' expectations, right? So which means we cannot ignore or inform the stakeholders that we cannot make any changes during the sprint. Okay, right? So this is something that is very critical to understand, a very complex situation, and we have to understand whether it would impact the current sprint deliverable or not, and then only proceed. Okay, option B, escalate the issue to the project manager for resolution. Again, escalation, like we have discussed, that comes up in the as a last resort. Okay, so the immediate action that the team should do is to accept the changes and adjust the sprint goals accordingly, because in this situation, the stakeholders are suggesting to adjust the sprint goals or change the sprint goals of that current sprint due to the scope changes. Due to the scope changes, that is the key word that we have to understand. Okay, So that was the last question of today's coaching call. If you want to go through a complete coaching of what PMI ACP is all about and what are the various domains and what is the content in all these domains. So I have a batch program offered for you, which will have various sets of approaches. First is, in addition to the current weekly coaching call that I'm doing this on YouTube, we'll also have a weekly coaching call with my batch members. Okay, that's discussing again more and more questions in detail and understanding the right approaches in terms of answering the questions. Okay, and the next thing is customized roadmap. I'll have a customized roadmap for each one of you if you join my batch program, and that will give you a proper and guided approach towards your success in PMI ACP certification. And in addition to that, I will also offer you a best simulator to go through mock questions or a sample questions like we are seeing in this particular session. So all those sessions you will be doing, all those questions you will be solving on a simulator, which actually, that resembles the PMI ACP examination simulator as well. So you'll have a timeline that is counting down from 180 minutes to 0, as in how you're solving the questions. Okay, which will help you understand how much time you're taking, and which will definitely develop the time you're taking or improve the timings that you're taking for each and every question. Okay, and guaranteed application approval. So when you apply for ACP certification examination on the PMI portal, you'll definitely have a guaranteed application approval process from me. That is what I'm offering you. And PMI requirement for ACP examination is a 28 PDUs, set of 28 PDUs that you should definitely have even before you attempt the question. Again, that's part of the application process, which I will offer you. You will have 28 PDUs as well to appear for the PMI ACP examination through my personal coaching to you. And daily follow-up. Yes, I'll follow up with you, with every one of you on a daily basis to understand how far you have progressed and what have you learned so far in the batch program, and in your personal preparation, how far have you been progressing, and what are the challenges that you're facing, and where do you need help. I'll be hand-holding every one of you towards success, and that is my batch program. So if you are interested to join my batch program, you can contact the details given below. Mr. Amer Ali, who is my mentor, my coach, and he's the person you are supposed to contact, and he'll guide you further about the batch program. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining the coaching call, and we'll meet again in the next week's coaching call on Wednesday. Thank you now. Bye-bye.